come to YouTube. Man, I cannot connect to Facebook. I did this because I wanted to see if I could even connect. If you're here on YouTube, stick around. I'm coming in just a second. We're setting up. On Facebook, come to YouTube. Hey everybody, come on in. It's Yankey Rants. We're going to do a little bit of a show. And hey Jack and Dale, share the YouTube link. I'm about to share it on Facebook. But we're going to hang out for a little while. I got a rant show planned because I got to get some stuff off my chest. I am revved up about today. Today is an important day in this revolution in what we're doing here. But it will not let me connect properly on Facebook. So I'm sharing the link right now. That is the YouTube link to this exact same feed. Come to YouTube if you're here on Facebook. And I'm going to share it in the feed too. And you will be able to watch this properly looking right at me. So the Facebook feed right now is just to pull people into the YouTube stream. I'm sharing that link in the Facebook stream right now. So come on over to YouTube and hang out with us. I've got a rant show planned. We're going to start in just a minute. I just give a little bit of time for people to get in and settle in so we get started. So come on in, like and share, and come to YouTube if you're here on Facebook. And I will figure something out about Facebook. We'll continue forward on Facebook as well, but right now you just pretty much have audio. But this is Yankey Rants, and we're going to do an episode during the day. We're going to do a few things during the day today to promote the shows that we do here on Facebook and YouTube. And really I want to promote YouTube and build the YouTube channel. So Facebook's Jack says there's fuckery going on in California. Facebook's fuckery today with not allowing me to connect properly. I cannot connect my streaming software to Facebook. I've made 3 attempts. So guys, if you're here on Facebook, I apologize, but there's a reason why it looks that way. Come to YouTube. The link is in the comment feed. And come to YouTube and the stream is clear and everything looks good just like normal. But I shared it in the comments. Link is in the comment. That looks really weird. And you're just like looking at my hat. Thanks, Dale. Thanks, Dale, for sharing that. But come on over to YouTube and check out the show. This gives you like a behind the scenes what it looks like from the ground up on Facebook. We'll kind of put it like this so you can see. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear now, though. So this is Yankey Rants. We're going to at least start that way. I don't know where this will end up, but something on my mind today, especially since this revolution is going on. And this is a revolution. People want to turn a blind eye or act like it's not. I think that's very dangerous. You know, and we're going to get into a lot of those reasons here in a minute. But I just want to see people active, informed, and fighting. You know, I'm not way into politics. I don't believe in politics. I believe in this revolution because the people are empowering themselves and doing what it takes to move forward and move society forward. That's what I believe in. That's what I'm passionate about. You know, and I'd like you to be on my side, of course, but be active in seeking truth, and we're good, you know. But there is a war going on, and whether you fight in it or not, it's happening. So not fighting in it, in my opinion, is consent to the evil that lords over us. And I don't know about you, but I do not consent. I do not consent to this greed-driven, war-focused system that lords over society, and our chance to take it down is unfolding right now. Today is a huge day to speak to power, to the power that lords over us. But if you're here on Facebook, there is a better version of the stream on YouTube. Come on over. But I'm going to talk about a few of these groups that have me upset today and have me riled up. But I'm going to put this down on Facebook, so come to YouTube. The link is in the comment thread. Come on over. But I'm going to put this down so that I can focus on what I'm doing here. Thanks, Dale, for sharing that feed too. But non-voters. I'm going to start the rant with non-voters. Non-voters probably have me the most upset of any group, because to not vote, to not participate at all, is consent to the evil. They'll say that voting is. Participating in the rigged system is consent to it. Well, I think that's crazy. That's a crazy ideology. I don't understand that thought process. Yes, the system that lords over us is rigged. Yes, it needs massive reform. It needs to be changed tremendously from the ground up. Yes, but how will that happen without everyone being active and involved? How would it ever happen? How could it be possible? There's no way for it to be possible. So please get active today. If you are in any of these states with a primary going on, go vote. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. Just please go vote. Participate. Get active, informed, and involved. Spread the truth. Seek the truth. If you're doing those things, we may not agree politically. I have friends, good friends, that don't agree with me politically. It happens quite often, actually. But we have a lot in common because we're all fighting towards a common good. We have the same enemies. We all have common enemies. And if we would just focus on that and understand that we have to get involved in the system that lords over us, and if we overwhelm it, we can take it down. Their power over us, their hold over us, their control over us is all illusionary. If we take responsibility and ownership of this situation, we can overwhelm it and take it down. And our opportunity is unfolding today. So the ones that have me the most frustrated are people that are just non-voters. They're just preaching that you should just quit and sit down, take your ball and go home. And quitting is the way to go. That's the upright moral thing to do, because the system is just so rigged. And I understand why you're jaded. But what you're preaching is dangerous. What you're trying to get people to do, to lay down, to sit down in this fight, is dangerous. If you want to do that, fine. But if you're preaching it, I'm going to speak out against it. There's people that are upset with me right now because I was speaking out against how dangerous telling people not to vote is, and telling them that that's effective. These people are passionate and care and want to make change and a difference. They want to see things happen in this world and see positive change. They're just convinced it can't happen. And you're helping with that. You're aiding and abetting. You're doing the work of the establishment, of the powers that lord over us. You're doing their work and their bidding. Hey, Kathy, but that's exactly what you're doing. So you are dangerous. And I don't take it back. I don't apologize for Nissa says I like it better over here. I'm sorry, guys. Facebook won't let me connect. The reason it looks like this on Facebook is because Facebook won't let me properly connect. So I have got the phone going so that Facebook can be involved. And you really only have audio. But come over to YouTube and you'll be able to see clearly. But Philip says, I am active, informed, and involved. I have many reasons for not voting this time. But I am active in other ways. Once I was asked why I didn't join a church that my family attended. I told them it was too exclusive in its tenets. Why wouldn't you vote? Why wouldn't you vote in your primary for Bernie, for the revolution, to move the revolution forward? If you're active, informed, and involved, wouldn't you vote for the common good? There's clearly a battle between good and evil going on right now. I would think that'd be clear to just about anyone. But Jack says, I like Facebook. I like Facebook too, guys, but like I said, there's shenanigans going on. I know this is fuckery because I have never had a problem with Facebook. I've had problems with YouTube, but it won't connect at all. And it doesn't matter what I name the stream. And Kathy says, I'm so angry at Obama and the dirty DNC. They put all their eggs in a Biden basket and he can't even form a complete sentence. They don't care about winning. They care about beating us. And they are trying to consolidate their entire establishment shill like blob into one candidate behind Joe Biden, of all people, to stop Bernie Sanders. It's not going to work. It's not going to be enough. And we're going to win. But we have to realize that winning isn't enough, you know. But the DNC is about to FAAFO. They're about to, I've already cussed a bunch of times. I should go ahead and do it. But F around and find out. You know. This revolution must happen. So I really don't understand not participating in it. I don't get that. Not voting for the common good, even if you disagree with a few things on an ideological level, as long as you don't disagree so far that you fall to the right, and then you would vote, I don't know, I guess for Trump. But I think those people are misguided too. I think a lot of those people really care and are active and informed, but we do disagree politically, especially about Trump. Well, we'll get to them in a little bit too. I got everybody lined up. I'm frustrated today, but I'm so passionate and involved in this fight. As a lot of you know, I spend a lot of time focusing on this revolution. This is very big what's happening. People rising up together by the millions, united towards making massive change. That's huge what's going on. So all of these groups that I'm going to mention need to get involved in this fight and do all we can to overwhelm the system. We have a chance today. If we overwhelm it, if we take it down with the force of our numbers in a way that we can't be denied and can't be stopped, we can win this. Now, every day I preach to the choir. Every day on the Daily Burn, I talk to burners and people that are already in this revolution. But today I'm talking to everybody. And I'm not preaching down to you. So if you're still here, Liz, I want you to stay. Because I'm not going to talk down about you. But I am going to really, really try and plead with you to get involved in this fight. Even if you disagree with things. Because can't we bicker about those later? If that's the reason why you're not involved, you know, or not willing to vote in this election, in this primary process. But the next group I wanted to talk about for just a moment, and we'll get back to all this stuff, because right now I can't see your comments. I'm looking at, hey Jay, I'm looking at my notes. But the blue no matter who people, they frustrate me really bad today too, as well. I'm spending a lot of my time on social media trying to spread truth and raise awareness and get people involved and active and in this fight. Because if we, the people, overwhelm, and that's what would have to happen. Again, it's not enough to win. So that's why I'm pleading with all these groups right now. If we overwhelm them, we can take this down and rebuild it. So sitting there and going, well, Bernie can't win, Rick's system. We can do whatever we want if we just stand united. If we stop being broke up in little groups, we can be unstoppable. And if you're truly blue no matter who, and all you really care about is beating Donald Trump, why wouldn't you support your clear front runner who has tremendous support, tremendous grassroots support, beats Trump in almost every national poll, every time consistently. If we take ownership, we, us, Bernie's our political candidate. That's the main thing that the next group that I'm going to mention, and Blue No Matter Who people need to understand. We're owning this. We're taking responsibility for our future, the people. He's going to be held as accountable as anyone else. Only thing that makes any of this happen is everybody staying active and involved. So if you're Blue No Matter Who, and all you care about is beating Donald Trump and this agenda that terrifies you, support this movement. Vote for Bernie Sanders in this primary. That is your clear winner. And if you can't do it, ask yourself why you can't. Are you really Blue No Matter Who, or are you Blue no matter anybody but Bernie? You're just afraid of change. Are you really progressive? Is it that you really want to vote for a Republican, but you just can't find one you like that much? I mean, what is it that you can't support Bernie on? Why do you think he's so radical? And don't you realize that every social advancement that we've ever made was tried to be fought against with socialism propaganda? It was all called socialism. Everything that we take for granted today was socialism. So if you're Blue No Matter Who, please, just, if you can't bite the bullet and you can't do what's clearly right and the right way to go, because Biden will lose. We're going to get to that in a little bit too. They're backing a loser, and they're trying to convince you that some kind of other reality is the truth. Biden will lose. For sure. Guaranteed. And they know that. The only thing they're trying to stop with this Stop Bernie movement is us. Now, we won't vote for the establishment candidate. If things go the other direction, we won't support the establishment candidate. You will lose. But even without that fact, which is a fact, you need to embrace that as well. But even without that fact, Biden would lose. Biden is a terrible candidate. Now, we all know that he's heavily flawed because of his tendency to be over-affectionate in inappropriate situations is the nicest possible way for me to put it. But he has a lot of problems. And then that's not even getting into his voting record. Creepy Biden, big problem. Trump's going to love that. Trump would absolutely eat that for lunch. It's going to be his favorite thing. He's going to tear him apart. And not only Trump, but Trump supporters. Biden's a loser. Really look at that. If you're Blue No Matter Who. If you really don't care who the nominee is, your winner is Bernie Sanders. Bernie will tear Donald Trump to shreds in a debate. And you need somebody whose record can stand up to scrutiny, because they are going to do everything they can to hold on to their power structure. So if Bernie becomes the nominee, you will see the entire Democratic establishment fight for Donald Trump. I'm telling you, you'll see the coverage on the man change. They don't care what propaganda they have to sell or what horse they have to back, as long as they can keep us from winning. Kathy says, I know our movement is over 3% of the population. We are too big to stop at this point. We can't be stopped. But we cannot get comfortable. We have to push hard. Today we must win big. We must overwhelm them. We cannot take this easy or assume that it will be easy. We have to win. This is our time. So far we've talked to non-voters and Blue No Matter Who, and we're going to get back to all that. For the next bit, I want to talk to jaded burners. Jaded burners really upset me as well. That hurts me. I've seen some burners, hardcore burners, way into the revolution, went all the way to Trump. As crazy as that is. Now, I feel that those burners, there's no getting them back. You can't go that far if you really ideologically and philosophically agreed with our revolution. You're never going to go all the way over to the dark side, you know? And I get that some of them have bought into this hype that Trump is something more than a con man, that he's actually fighting the deep state and the establishment. But trust me, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And I realize that the network TV and the mainstream media spends a lot of time on Donald Trump, and a lot of it is negative, but he's good for ratings, and they all love him. They're very comfortable and happy with leaving things the way they are. Philip says we cannot have a national smart grid. Okay, that's going to be something I'm going to have to look up, because offhand I don't know exactly what that is. Helen says error loading and get black screen. Facebook is pulling shenanigans today. The reason why the stream on Facebook is just my hat and the computer screen is because Facebook will not let me connect. Come to YouTube. The link is in the comments thread. Come to YouTube and you'll get a clear, regular version of the show. So that's one of the pluses of multi-streaming. But Philip says, appreciate what you do. Thank you. I appreciate what you do. We don't agree right now because, as Philip's, I know it's Liz. I should stop saying that. But Liz, we don't agree right now, but I'm hoping to convince you. I'm hoping to get you to understand where I'm coming from. That this fight is happening right now. There's not going to be a better opportunity that comes along. We need to take full advantage of this opportunity while we're in it so that we can make these changes. None of these changes that we all individually want, and maybe it's something, maybe the deal breaker for you is something that's not on the table right now, something that's not in the discussion. Well, we can bring it into the discussion. These things are all going to be made possible if we overwhelm and take down the rigged, corrupt system that lords over us. We're getting a clear chance to do that right now. So we need to take full advantage of that. And every vote counts, and everything's going to matter. So the reason I'm pleading with these certain groups today in this feed and trying to get people to get involved and fight in this, especially anybody in the 16 primary contests today, anybody in those states and districts that are voting today. But the jaded burners, I'd really love to see them come back. I know you're hurt, and I know why. Everyone understands why. No one's just like with the non-voters being jaded. We all understand why you're jaded, why you're upset with this rigged, corrupt system, and why you choosing to walk away from it. But I'm trying to tell you, one last fight. If we all get involved and active in one last fight and do all we can and push as hard as we can win this. We can make this happen. We will make this happen. And we are making this happen. So stay involved and stay active and keep fighting, but push as hard as you can today. Do all that you can today. And I'm going to be trying as hard as I can to make this argument today and drive myself crazy and beat my head against the wall. But hopefully I do a decent enough job right now that I convince at least one person to get involved and active in this fight. And we can, even if you're on the other side, can't you see that the whole establishment, the whole power structure, the mass media, everything is against one man? And that man represents millions of people trying to take ownership of their society and their government and the power structure that lords over us. We can take it down. We're being given a chance here. It's not like Bernie's being given the keys to the car and will have ultimate control. He's going to be held as accountable as anyone else. We all know a president doesn't have unlimited power. He can't do anything without us anyway. if we don't stay active and involved behind him, this is all dead in the water to begin with. So, but the jaded burners, let me try to focus just for a second. I want to make it through my list. If you're upset with Bernie about 2016, why can't you put that aside and realize we got a chance to win here? I know we want to grow third parties. I know there's other directions that we all splintered off and went into. The ones that went to Trump, probably not going to be able to get them to come back. Because like I said, we must have deep differences philosophically. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't have ventured so far apart. But the ones that are hurt and went non-voter or went green or third party in some way or went to fight in another way, because they're still passionate, they're still active, and they're still good people. But they're just too hurt to get involved in our fight. I wish you would come back and join us and get active and help us crush today. You know, the ones that are going to vote are already gonna. So I'm trying to talk to the groups that are on the fence or maybe undecided or weren't going to get active or might have been voting for somebody else. This is the revolution to support. This is the movement to support, because this movement, this revolution is going to make massive change, has the potential to make massive change, and to motivate millions of people to get involved in politics and to change it from the ground up, which is what needs to happen. No one is saying that electing Bernie Sanders president solves anything. No one is saying that that is the end all to everything. It's us being active that is going to make this happen and is going to make this stuff a reality, is going to get health care as a human right and people to a living wage, raise the minimum wage to a living wage and where people can live with dignity. You know, this system's not sustainable. You can't sustain a capitalist society with a population that can't afford to buy things. How does that work? Somebody explain that to me. Maybe a Yang supporter. We'll get to that too. That's on the list. People that were supporting these other candidates that dropped out. We need to talk about that. So we're going to get to that in a minute too. But I'm going to be pleading with everyone today. And I'm just trying to make a case for why you should support this revolution, no matter how you feel. We are taking ownership, the people. That's beautiful. Kathy says at least Bernie will listen to us. Bernie does listen to us and is actually does a fantastic job with opposing views, to the point where when people protest at his rallies, he will let them have the podium. That's a much better way to handle this. And things always go much better when he does that than if you kicked them out, made a scene, caused a fuss. There's no reason to do that. Hey, Kathy, if you come to YouTube, the link is in the stream on Facebook. You can see this from the right angle. Facebook will not let me connect today. They're pulling shenanigans. No one can convince me that it's not shenanigans. They are trying to shut down independent media. And it's not just Facebook, but Facebook's very active politically. We all know that as well. So I know that's a little of my tinfoil hat coming out, but I don't think it's so crazy. I don't think it's out of the question. Jack says, I have some people that voted for Trump that will vote for Bernie if he gets the nomination. And Kathy says, I can't see the comments. I don't know. Oh, on YouTube, it's hard to figure out. You can. It'd be difficult even for me to explain to you shortly right now, which is weird, isn't it? Because YouTube is so video friendly and that's their core thing. You would think interactivity would be important to them. Wink, wink, whoever's in charge of that over at YouTube. Kathy says, I can see them voting against Hillary Rodham Clinton by voting for Trump. It was rigged. A lot of people did. Burners did vote against Hillary as a response. Bernie or bust went a lot of different ways. But some of these jaded burners are still so hurt that they won't be a part of this fight. Even though it's clear that If everybody was to back this, if we were to overwhelm their system, we could take it down because they're panicking already. Look what's happening in the media. Chris Matthews effed around and found out, right? He's resigned now. We broke up Public Enemy. Bernie Sanders ended Public Enemy. No, Public Enemy will just be just fine without Flavor Flav yelling, "Yeah, boy." They gonna get by just fine. Chuck D is Public Enemy. Flavor Flav is a hype man who Chuck D has kept with a job all these years. And there was much more to that beef than this rally. This rally was just a straw that broke the camel's back. But these people, they're effing around and finding out. And the DNC is going to eff around and find out today. So Jack mentioned earlier they're pulling stuff in California. I'm trying to hit the news, but I wanted to get this argument out and make this case because I'm distracting myself. I'm trying to work today and work on videos and stuff and follow the news and follow the primaries today, but I'm getting distracted because I'm not able to do anything in this fight right now except try to make this argument and get people to get active. There's no reason to speak to the choir, to preach to the choir right now. I need to talk to people that are hurt. So is anybody a jaded burner that's here, that used to be a supporter, that doesn't feel passionate about this fight or can't support this fight? I have had some people come by. "Hey, Kathy, you figured it out." Sweet. I knew if anybody was going to figure it out, it would be you. You are probably the most brilliant Facebook friend I have. Like, she is super intelligent. I've learned so many words from following Kathy on Facebook. So I'm glad you found me. I knew you guys could figure it out. YouTube's more difficult to see the live comments. I struggled with it forever. I'm kind of ashamed how long it took me to figure it out, but YouTube should really streamline that. While a video's live, every time you come into it, you should be able to see the comments. That's the only thing wrong. And that I can't like your comments, because it'd be much easier if I could like what you're saying. Yeah, Kathy was carrying the load. Kathy says it's nice I won't be the only one talking. This is live and interactive, so take part. There are people here on Facebook. I know it looks weird and everything, and it's all a weird angle and stuff, but that's because Facebook is pulling shenanigans today, and they won't let me connect properly. So we're still doing the show. You just need to come to YouTube, and it'll look all pretty, like it's supposed to look. But I'm talking to the jaded burners right now. It says we're a bit skippy. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll work on settings and stuff like that. We're figuring stuff out. We're still tweaking stuff with the new computer. And it could also be that I'm bumping the desk. I cannot manage to keep my knees from bumping into the desk, which shakes everything. So, but if you're upset with Bernie and that's what's keeping you from being involved in this fight, please put that aside and join us. And as I said earlier, we're going to hold him just as accountable as anybody else. So we can take up all those issues later on once we get control of our government. We can also make it possible to have third parties, third, fourth, fifth parties, make all that viable. I'm sorry that it's not right now. It's not, though. Because I've seen a lot of people say, well, I wish Bernie would just run third party. The DNC is not going to let him have the nomination. First off, no one's saying they're going to let us do anything. I want everybody to understand that they're not going to let us have anything. We're going to have to take this. That's why it's important for all these groups I'm talking about to get involved, and why it's important to reach across to these groups and try to make a case for why we need to do this. None of this change is possible unless we have this massive victory. We can do this, and we can do this in a much shorter period of time than any other plan that I see. And massive change needs to take place. So this is the only opportunity I'm seeing put forth where we can end this greed that is killing people and this endless war and this corruption. So I get that you're hurt. I've come to terms with what happened in 2016 in my own way and moved on. And I'd love to talk to you and discuss if you are hurt or upset. Please comment later if you're not here right now and you feel that way. Because I want to talk to you. I want to reach out. Because I want to at least get the opportunity to make the case that this is our chance to move society forward and bring justice to society and make massive change if we all just get together and stand together. We can disagree about little things. We can bicker back and forth. We can have different opinions. But let's win. Let's win this fight. And then bicker. Once we have control, let's take responsibility of our destiny and ownership. You know, that's the first step. If we don't do that, Kathy says that she has a good stream. Kathy's, you're both Kathy. So we'll just, this is the Kathy hour. Kathy also says, we're going to have to wrestle power away from them, the powers that be. No, we're going to have to take it out of their claws. They're talking about billions of dollars at stake. Billions of dollars on the line. Endless greed. They're killing people. They're not going to give this up. This power that they have, we have to take it from them. And we have to overwhelm them to do that. You know, any political pundit will tell you right now, winning isn't enough. They'll sit there and try to rationalize how Bernie can win 3 out of 4 primaries so far and not be the front runner. When you add up all the other candidates, they beat Bernie, so see, he's not really the front runner. They'll sell it however they want. So this rigged outcome they intend to push for, they'll sell that to the public however they choose, and they'll get people to believe it. And that's unfortunate, and it's also terrifying. Jack says, how many people be here? Well, on Facebook, only 2. But they're getting a very good look of my ceiling. If you're here on Facebook, come to YouTube, and it looks all pretty. And there's a set, and I'm inside of a TV, and it's really neat. Facebook would look that way too, but they're pulling shenanigans today, which we're going to get into later in the censorship part. Right now, I'm talking to the voters. But this is going to be a little bit of a marathon rant show. But right now I'm making this case. So people with no faith or belief are next. People that just can't believe that anything is possible and anything can happen and want to pour doubt on anybody trying to accomplish anything. And this goes for really anything you're trying to do in your life. There's always going to be people lined up to tell you can't do this. You can't achieve this. That's impossible. This can't be done. These people are out there. Please get involved and stop whining and complaining and realize that if you took ownership of your situation and stop blaming everyone else and feeling like a victim, that you could actually make change. And if you can't do that, if you can't get involved, stop getting in the way of people that are. If you just can't believe and you have no faith that something like this revolution or something like massive change and changing this greed-driven system that lords over everybody and is holding everyone down, if you can't believe or have the faith that that's possible, please sit down. Please sit down and get out of the way of the people that are actually trying to make this change a reality, to try to bring justice and compassion to society. You know, there's no reason to be in the way. You don't think it can be done? Okay. Go over there and wait till Monday morning quarterback me to tell me how you were right all along. But when it turns out I'm right, I'm sure I'm sure you will be ready to jump on this bandwagon, because these kind of people that have no faith and belief, they need to see some victory. They need to see some winning before they can even get involved in something. They need to know it's going to work out. They need that security, that reassurance. Because they have no faith and belief. It all circles back. It's just this. They need proof. They can't believe in something without the evidence. And sadly, the evidence is that this system is rigged and corrupt. That the DNC is a private corporation. They admitted in court they could select whoever they want. They were outright about that. I understand. But if they're overwhelmed and outnumbered, they can be taken down. Then we can make changes to that stuff. So this stuff is possible. And to run around telling people all the time that, no, it's impossible and you should quit and you should lay down, that is dangerous. If you just can't believe, or because your feelings were hurt, or for whatever reason. And I invited all kinds of views into this stream, hoping that there would be pushback. Because I need you today, especially if you're in any of these primary states. We need you so bad to fight. Kathy says that Status Quo on Twitter just got limited for 12 hours for using Biden's own words. There's suppression going on. I've never had a problem connecting to Facebook. Ever. We've been doing these streams for a long time. And a lot of you know we have new equipment now. Things are working a lot better. There's no reason for me to be having problems. I've tried multiple times. I've tried restarting. I've tried other things. I've tried tweaking settings. Nothing works. I can't connect to Facebook on anything but my phone. My computer won't do it. So that's a little odd. I'm not in any kind of Facebook jail, but any kind of suppression or shenanigans they can pull, they will. And again, I might be being conspiracy guy right now, but I don't think so. Oh my goodness, thank you. Kathy says voting Bernie today as soon as your show is over. Right on. I wish I was in a state that could vote today. I live in Missouri. We're a red state. And we don't vote yet, but Bernie's not doing well in our polls anyway. But I think the polls are complete garbage anyway. We can get to those in a little while too. But if you're here on Facebook, and the reason why you're looking at my hat is because Facebook's being Facebook today, and they're suppressing progressive views, and they're giving me problems. So come to YouTube. The same show is on YouTube, and it looks completely different. But the next people I want to talk to, these are the ones that Lawrence says Biden will get killed if they force him on us. Biden wants to take a nap. Biden wants to quit. Biden doesn't want to be doing this. I really don't think. I think Biden is as reluctant to see Biden become president as everyone else is. They don't want to beat Trump. That's something everybody needs to understand. These blue no matter who's need to understand that. The establishment doesn't want to win because winning to them is losing. Unless they can get their shill in there. But they don't think they can. Do you really think they can get Joe Biden elected president? Trump has support. And Republicans are fiercely loyal. So even without the fact that there is a lot of people that love Trump, Republicans vote Republican. So he would win. He would beat Joe Biden. Joe Biden has so many problems. The creepy stuff is a big one. But his voting record alone is huge. He's got a lot of difficult. Couldn't, and shouldn't be trying to sell Joe Biden, but they're throwing all they can behind him to stop us. Stop Bernie movement is about stopping us, stopping the people, trying to stop our momentum, to get us to quit. but we're not going to. And we need to overwhelm them today because unfortunately, winning isn't winning unless we win big. We need to crush them because we need 1,991 delegates, and if we fall short of that, they're going to try to steal this. And then it's going to come to direct action. And that's what this really is. I've seen a lot of people talking today about how now they're feeling like they're Bernie or bust. They've come that far. I've been that way for a while, but I'm past that. I'm to Bernie or vest. This goes to direct action after this. If this revolution were to fail, we need to take to the streets because this has to happen now. This can't stop or end in any way. No matter what happens, this keeps moving forward. We need to realize this is ours. This is ours and our responsibility. And this change that we're trying to make, we're trying to take down some very, very powerful people. But there are only a handful of them. We are the many and they are the few, and we can make this happen if we would all just join together. And like Kathy says, all we need is 3%. We don't need everybody. But please join us. I'm speaking to everybody today because I know that we need to have a huge day today. And I'm sure they'll pull stuff, but make sure that you're active, involved, and sharing stuff like locations. If they shut down polling stations, they've already shut down a bunch, but if they shut down more, get connected. Text Bernie to 67760, and that will enroll you in the texting service of the campaign. We can stay in touch with you. I do the texting. So we can stay in touch with you and give you information if things change or if they pull shenanigans. We used it in 2016. But that's crazy. They are censoring everything, and they're censoring progressives. And I'm convinced that's what the problem is on Facebook, why Facebook won't connect today. I'm sure I'm not the only streamer that's having a problem. I'll have to see if we see some other faces today or if they don't have difficulties because I've never experienced this. This is weird. Everything seems fine in the settings, perfect. It just won't connect. It's very odd. Jack says he has the first stage of dementia. I'm not a doctor, but something's wrong with Joe Biden. It's not even funny at this point. Kathy says, what's the text to number? 67760. 67760. Text the word Bernie to 67760, and that enrolls you in the official texting service of the campaign. And what we do is we send out information when something's relevant in your area. And you can turn it off whenever you want, but it's a great tool. Or get the Burn app. The Burn app's a great way to stay in touch with the revolution. But they're going to pull shenanigans. So we got to spread the truth today. We got to stay active and push. We got to really fight and push hard because we have to win big. We're going to have to win big. It's not enough to win. We can't get comfortable. Like Bernie's projected to win 14 of 16 states. We need to win 16 of 16. And we need to win those 16 by a huge margin. We need to crush them. Take them down. Make it undeniable. I want us to have this in the bag by Wednesday morning. I know that's kind of unrealistic, but you need to set the bar high, don't you? We can go for this. We can do this. It's possible. So let's do it. Hey, Dale. Now I know your YouTube handle. See? Perfect feed over on YouTube. So come over to YouTube if you're here on Facebook, and you'll be able to get a whole different view of the show. You're kind of getting a backstage view on Facebook. What my mic and my hat look like from another angle. But I'm nervous today. I should be working. I should be doing work for tomorrow night's show. Tomorrow night is Conspiracy Theories and Chill. I should be making a video. And I need to be. I need to get back to work. But I cannot stop thinking about this. I'm so focused on this fight. And this is a fight. This revolution is important. It's crucial that we win. We must make this happen, and we have to realize everything's at stake, and today is huge. Today is huge. We must overwhelm them today. We must not allow them to stop us, no matter what they do. Embrace yourself, because they are pulling shenanigans. And again, I realize that's a very nice way to say it, and I don't know why I'm trying to be careful now. I've already broke the F-bomb barrier during this feed. But that was my case for why you should support this revolution if you don't already. So I know the people that are here right now do. So I'm preaching to the choir, so share that out. You know, first 50 minutes of this rant was me begging every group to get involved in this fight, because we can win. We're gonna win. We will win if we unite. We overwhelm them and we take them down. We are too big to rig. We are winning. Be a part of it. Join us. And let's do all we can today. And if you're in any of these states with primaries today on Super Tuesday, get everyone out you can. Get that one more person to vote. Get that people out to the polls. Help people get there. Help them find it. And especially in these places where they're closing polling locations, because they do that in poor and minority areas to try and suppress the vote, because these are places where Bernie's going to do very well. So you need to help these people, because their voice is being taken away from them. Democracy is being stolen. These things that they're going to do today to try to stop our revolution need to anger and upset everyone, because this is an election in this country. This is our democracy being played with. So even if you don't philosophically agree with what we're trying to do here, you do agree with democracy, right? You do agree that democracy is important, and you do want to see that your vote matters in this country. So just because they're not attacking your candidate in a rigged election, there's a rigged election going on. So you need to be active and aware and fighting back against that. Anything other than that is completely un-American and unpatriotic. If you're not raising your voice and making it impossible for them to pull this off, doing all you can to point awareness at what they're trying to do here, which is rig an election, you're failing in your purpose as an American. You're failing in your purpose as participating in democracy, because it's not a fair contest. This is the kind of thing that they would try to convince us to go to war with another country over. They're literally doing that, rigging an election in this country. Catherine says you donated $3. Man, that inspires me. And that's important. You know, we raised $46 million for the Bernie Sanders revolution, or for our revolution, in February alone. Individual donations of like 2.2 million, averaging $21. That's phenomenal. We are doing fantastic. And that's something for the blue no matter who people. You really want to win. You really want to beat Donald Trump and move society forward, and you believe in all that stuff. Don't you see the power of this huge grassroots movement and what's going on right now? Can't you see that that is the only path towards real change? Liz says Texas keeps closing polling places, and most are in minority areas. See pin elections for more election rigging info. Follow that. Follow and spread as much truth as you possibly can, as much awareness as you possibly can to what's going on today. Because they're going to try to steal our thunder. Today should be the biggest day in progressive history. This should be the biggest victory politically in progressive history. But they're going to do all they can to try and stop that from happening, to try and stop that from becoming a reality. And we have to fight back as much as possible. We are the media. The real media in this country is the people. The mainstream media cannot be trusted and is not reliable. I have zero faith in them, and luckily, the average person's faith in them is dropping as well. That is coming to an end slowly, as you're seeing with Chris Matthews stepping down, and things like that. But that inspires me that you donated. It inspires me how many people, average people, real people, have dug into their pocket and given to this revolution. And all the volunteers out there that have done tremendous work, everything that you're doing is very valuable, and I really appreciate it. I know that's not why you're doing it, but thank you. I really appreciate everything that all of you do. A lot of the names I see right now are very active and spread a lot of truth, including you, Liz. I just love to see you throw your vote and support behind this movement. That's all. I'd love to have you in that fight. And I'd love your input for what maybe we need to include, what we need to bring into our fight, what maybe you don't agree with, what you're not passionate about, or you don't fully agree or support. I want to know these things. We move forward together. That's what is beautiful about it. I don't believe in this revolution because I believe in politics. I agree that our political system is rigged and corrupt. It needs to be changed. I just feel that this is the way to change it. This is what's going to make it change. This is how change is possible. So it's clear to me that this is the direction that we need to go. But the next thing, just to change gears a little bit, and because this is Yankey Rants, and on behalf of my cat, I want to rant just a little bit while we all gather our thoughts, and I give you time to say something and let me know what you want to talk about. I think it's very frustrating that as far as humanity has come, scientifically and evolutionarily, that we have not evolved to the point that we can speak to pets, speak to animals. I find that very frustrating. It upsets me. And my cat is very upset by that today. She has been trying to tell me something all day that is crucial to her. Matter of fact, she's making it to where I cannot walk through the house. She's stepping in front of me everywhere I go in a crisscross fashion, and she's very agile. So she makes it extremely hard to navigate. And she's trying to tell me something. She's patting at my legs, meowing. I've given her everything I can think of that she would want. I don't know what she wants, and I feel like Sharper Image should be selling something to where her meows are translated into speech. I feel like we should be at that point. I can see thought in your pet's eyes. I know that my dog is intelligent and sometimes is trying to tell me something. It'd be really nice if we could speak to them. I know that had nothing to do with anything, but it's something that was on my mind, and I feel like that would be really neat. So maybe we need to make that part of our fight and our revolution too, evolving to the point where we can speak to animals. Because like that little bird that flew up to Bernie's podium, I think they support our revolution too. Dale, I picked her up. I've done everything. She hates to be held. She hates to be held, which is weird because she likes to be pet. So you have to sit down. She doesn't like to walk around or be held up high for some weird reason. But yes, I have. It's not affection she wants. It's not food. It's not a little bit of milk. It's not treats. I don't know. Well, she's upset about something. She's probably worked up over Super Tuesday. I know I'm very worked up over it. Maybe she's feeding off of that. Maybe she's like, cool out, man. You're going to do great today. Super Tuesday's going to work out just fine. Maybe not as good as it should. As we all know, we in a just world, we would dominate today. They're going to pull shit. We know that. So maybe it won't go as good as she should, but maybe she's trying to be like, hey, man, come on. Get to work. Do your thing. Don't let Super Tuesday play out. Don't be anxious about it. There's so much at stake today. It's tremendous how much is at stake. And we need to make this happen. This must happen. And our time is now. So do all you can. This isn't a daily burn. This is a Yankey Rants. I'm passionate about this. It's flowing over into everything else I'm doing. I want to cover it on Conspiracy Theories and Chill, this rigging. And expose it. I want people to see it. I want you to care. People that see it think it's funny. They'll laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, well, they're messing with your boy. They're rigging it. You should care. That should matter. Should be a big deal. A rigged election in America? Aren't we the center of democracy and supposed to be the example of democracy to the world? Shouldn't we have some democracy? Wouldn't that be nice? Let's go get it. They're not going to give it to us. We have to take it. That's the only way we can expect to get it. We have to take this down. So, all those groups I talk to, please get involved and let's win this. And then bicker about anything else that we don't agree on later on. Or show me what you think is a better option. Because don't we have to be doing something? Don't we have to get involved and do as much as we can to move this forward, to move society forward? Don't we all understand and see that massive change is needed? I would hope. I would hope we do. Because if not, we're going to end up in a lot of trouble. But what news have you guys heard before we wrap up? What's going on? You heard anything? Let me know. Link me up. Help me get through today. Those of you that follow and are real active like Liz and Steve, any news you get, send my way, because I'm going to try to stay real active and involved and informed in this in Super Tuesday so I can share with y'all and get out and get on top of this stuff. And then we will have our regular daily burn tonight at 7. Hopefully a celebratory daily burn. Should be. And if we do all we can and overwhelm them and spread as much information and help these people that they're trying to silence by taking their vote away, by closing these polling stations, help them as much as we can and get them out to the correct places to vote, we can do this. We can win. They will throw every obstacle they can in our way, though. Just do all you can, and we will win. But thanks for hanging out, and thanks for watching. And like I said, send me anything you got. Any links or anything like that. Tag them in this post or send them to me on Messenger or tag me in it on Facebook. I want to stay up to the second on this as much as possible. I am definitely invested in this, in what's going on and unfolding today. And we all need to be. We all need to be very aware and very vigilant and very active and spread the truth. Help people see what they're doing. They're desperate. They're going to show their hand. They're going to make mistakes. So let's expose them. Let's point it out. Help people to see how people are being silenced and their vote is being taken away. And this is all happening in reality and needs to be important. Needs to be to the point where everyone understands we have the same enemy. They're all trying to stop one group of people. Maybe I should be involved with that group. Maybe I should throw my support behind that group. And then we can take it down. And then we can build it back up into something that represents us all. It's the only way. What's standing is just standing in the way of everything that we want. And all we really want is justice. These things that we're pushing for, they're needed. They're not even radical ideas. You know, I'm further left politically than Bernie Sanders in reality. I don't fully agree with everything Bernie wants to do. I think some of them aren't radical enough. These things that we want, these things we're pushing for, these things we're fighting for, these worldwide are regular things. They're normal. They're things that other people in other countries take for granted. They don't worry about medical bills. They don't worry about getting sick and having their life ruined, going bankrupt. They don't have to worry about that stuff. We worry about that stuff here because we have a greed-based system, because we've fallen under this illusion that we can't do anything about that. But we can, we are, it's happening right now. So get involved with it and do all you can, and we can win this. We must win this. Steve says Biden has lost his mind. Biden, it's sad. It's really sad. I'm not enjoying it anymore. At first it was funny. Now it's just sad. And it's hard to feel bad for someone that I think is probably a horrible, 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 terrible, terrible person. I think he's done terrible things. If we really knew every skeleton in Joe Biden's closet, I believe it would be a horror show. But that's my personal opinion. His voting record alone makes him terrible, but his mind is slipping. There's many reasons why Joe Biden is a ticking time bomb of a candidate. They don't intend to win with him. So why are they throwing their support behind him? Ask yourself that if you're blue, no matter who. Why? Why would they throw their support behind a guaranteed loser of a candidate? If you're here on Facebook, we can't connect properly. The YouTube link is in this comment stream, and you can see the show the way it's intended to be. But these are technical difficulties, and it's part of doing live shows and just something we have to deal with, and we're just pushing forward. But Facebook's pulling shenanigans today. They're trying to silence. I believe that. I believe the powers that be are terrified and are panicking and will do everything in their ability and their power to stop us. You're going to see people get Facebook jailed and shadow banned like crazy today. It's going to be really hard to spread truth and awareness. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder if we don't put a stop to what they're doing. They're trying to eliminate the truth in real time. They're trying to take our ability to fight back away. Steve says, I was in Portugal recently, and the people are so happy. They legalized drugs, and drug use and crime went way down. I saw those statistics. I don't have them in front of me, so I can't rattle them off the top of my head. But the war on drugs is a complete failure. The war on drugs is a complete and total failure. And we need to be working on healthcare and treating these people and allowing them treatment options and acknowledging the problem and taking care of it from that angle. And what they're doing in Portugal is very, very radical. Something I would agree with, something Bernie might not agree with me on. We need to go in that direction. Decriminalizing all drugs, working on treatment options instead. That works. It doesn't, throwing people in jail, incarcerating people, and allowing the black market to thrive doesn't do anything to stop drugs. And it doesn't help anything that the CIA is one of the biggest drug distributors on the planet. So the whole war on drugs is laughable and ridiculous anyway, and has been used as an excuse to lock up minorities at a ridiculous rate and put people in jail over, in a lot of cases, a flower. So one of the first things Bernie's going to do on day one is decriminalize cannabis, legalize cannabis. That's huge. That's big. These are things that matter. You may not agree with Bernie politically in some ways, this, that, or the other. But can't you see that the people taking charge and ownership of their government and their society is the way any change would take place? So it's the only real way, if you at least acknowledge that there's a power system that lords over us and holds us down. The only way to fight back against it is being presented to you right now. So you have to do all you can. You have to get as active as you possibly can. Get as involved as you possibly can. And again, this is not political. It's just the reality of the situation. We are in a fight, in a class war. We need to acknowledge that, realize that, and take ownership of the situation, that nothing is possible and no change is possible unless we do the work. So today we're getting a chance to shine, but we're going to have to really overwhelm them, and they're going to do all they can to throw wrenches into our system, into our momentum. But we can't let it matter. We have to push harder and be louder, raise our voices, keep spreading the truth, be the media. Spread the excitement. Spread the truth. Help people see what's going on. Do all you can. Liz says Biden is weird with little girls. He is not for the people. Biden is creepy. Creepy Uncle Joe he would lose so bad to Donald Trump. Donald Trump would tear him to shreds. Can you imagine Biden in a debate with Donald Trump? Or imagine the ads that Trump will run against Joe Biden. You can really think about it. Play this out in your head. And then tell me to my face, with a straight face, that the DNC is not trying to lose. They don't care and are not afraid to have Donald Trump be president. They're running Creepy Joe, whose mind is slipping, as their front runner. And their security, their backup plan, is Michael Bloomberg, who is everything evil that you imagine or fear in Donald Trump personified. But he is not for the people, she says, and he is losing it. He can't follow a stream of thought, and he can't. I think the DNC is pushing him because they can control him. Now, that's true, and I agree with you on that. They don't want Bernie because they don't know what he will do. And because Bernie empowers the people. They don't want Bernie because of us. That's why it's so clear that that's the path to get involved in. To me, anyway. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. And they're all fighting against Bernie to stop us. They're trying to stop our momentum and keep us from winning. Hold us down. But Liz says he has too long pushed policies for the citizens, not the corporations. The DNC creeps are too much for corporate interests. The DNC is all about corporate interests. That's all they care about and all they're concerned with and what they're there to defend. You know, there is no longer any such thing as the Democratic Party, really. It's the Republican Party for those that aren't lunatic, like insanely to the right. The Republican Party has had to go crazy, in fact, because the Democratic Party has moved so far to the right. The Republicans have lost their mind. See, Bernie, like I said, isn't even as left as me, and there are people further left than I. So he's not even that far left. It's weird that we're in a society and in a system where somebody who just wants a better life for people, somebody who just wants people to live with dignity and just wants us to enjoy things that, like I said, are normal around the world and better our society, is labeled crazy and socialist and an enemy of the people. And the whole entire media and power structure and establishment system is fighting tooth and nail to make sure that he doesn't become president, because him becoming president would motivate and inspire and get millions of people active in our society and politics, and they wouldn't be able to do what they've been doing. Their game would be over. Their game, this rigged system, it all ends when we all stand up. Any way that they can keep you down, they can keep you not fighting, keep you not involved and not active and united. That's important. As long as they keep us broke up into little groups and disagreeing with each other and bickering, we are weak. But if we would unite, we would be unstoppable. We can take them down. We can uproot this system. No, Steve, I know. See, I can do this. I can hold it. But it's going to exhaust my wrist. My face isn't in the frame on YouTube. See, on YouTube, the frame is mostly my face. But on Facebook, Facebook is pulling shenanigans. And it will not allow me to properly connect and properly stream on Facebook. So I wanted to talk to you guys for a little while and reinforce that we need to win big today. Like Steve says, we need a huge victory today. We cannot just stroll in there on this. We got to realize that we have to take this. That means doing all that we can. Being involved and active as we possibly can. And today's a big day. Today is an important day to push as hard as we possibly can. But I am going to get off here for a while. I am going to try to get back to work and work on some videos for the YouTube channel and Conspiracy Theories and Chill tomorrow night. But I want to stay informed. So tag me in anything important that you see and help me stay up to the minute with what's going on today. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and letting me vent for a little while. And if you thought I made a decent case for supporting Bernie in the beginning here, tag some Blue No Matter Who's, some non-voters. Get them to watch it. Get them to at least listen to the case that I tried to make for why this is so important and how we can actually win if we win big. We need to overwhelm them. We need to crush them. It's the only way to make this happen. If we do that, we can pull off the impossible here. Because it's not impossible. They just want to make you believe that it is. Everything's impossible until it's done. They always want to tell you it can't be done. But we can do this. We can make this happen. We are making this happen. So do everything you can. And we're going to win. Steve says you called in sick. I can't concentrate until this is over. Dude, if I wouldn't have been off today, I was lucky enough to be off today. But if I wouldn't have been off today, I'd probably had to do that too. I am obsessed with this today. And I am trying to spread as much truth and raise as much awareness and raise as much excitement as I possibly can today and just move this forward. I feel like this can be a huge day for us and should be a huge day for us, and I'm very excited. I wish I was somewhere like you, like in California. I can't imagine. It's got to be electric. What's going on there, by the way? Because I heard earlier that there's some foul play going on in California. Liz is sharing a bunch of good information in the feed right now, so check that stuff out. But stay as informed as you can today, guys, and keep me informed. But thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sure you will see me again shortly. I'm going to be on here pretty much all day. I'm going to be annoying. hanging out with you guys. And hopefully I can get Facebook figured out, because this just isn't working with holding it in my hand. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys, and I'll see you later on. Get out there and do all you can, and let's win this today. Let's win big.